Now we are looking at product B. So the first thing we have to do is figure out our cost per unit, our product cost per unit. So for direct materials under variable, it's 10. For direct labor, it's 12. For variable overhead, it's 16. And for fixed overhead, it is 0 because we do not include variable or fixed overhead in the product cost under variable costing. So we come up with a total of 38. For absorption costing, it's going to be 10 for direct materials, 12 for direct labor, 16 for variable overhead, and for fixed overhead, it's going to be the 1.6 million for the year divided by the number of units produced. And it's 8 again. I guess I really like that number. All right, so we're going to add that up. And we get $46 a unit. All right. Absorption fixed overhead per unit isn't always going to be 8. I don't know why I did that twice, but anyway, it's okay. All right, so we're going to calculate our variable cost. So our sales is going to be the number of units we sold, 180, times $75 a unit, which is our sales price right here. Our direct materials is 180 units we sold times $10 a unit, or 1.8 million. Direct labor is the 180 units we sold times $12 a unit, or 2,160,000. And variable overhead is the 180,000 units we sold times $16 a unit, or 2,880,000. Okay, there's our product cost, but remember, we're also going to add our variable S&A. Even though these are period costs, we're going to put them in the variable section of the variable income statement. So that's going to be the 180,000 units we sold times our variable sales and administrative per unit, which was $5. That gives us 900,000. We're going to add up all of our variable costs. And that gives us 7,740,000. We calculate our contribution margin by taking our sales of 13,500,000, subtracting our variable costs of 7,740,000, you get a contribution margin of 5,760,000. Our fixed overhead for variable is the entire amount of fixed overhead, so 1.6 million. And our fixed S&A is 500,000. Getting that right up there and right there. Okay. So our net income then is going to be our contribution margin of 5,760,000 minus our fixed overhead of 1.6 million minus our fixed S&A of 500,000, and that gives us a net income under variable costing of 3,660,000. Just going to calculate my ending inventory really quick because it's there. Okay. Now I want to reconcile or convert my variable net income to absorption net income. So I'm going to start with a variable net income of 3,660,000. I'm going to add the fixed overhead that's sitting in my absorption ending inventory. So it's my ending inventory of 30,000 units times my fixed overhead is $8 a unit. I'm going to add that 240. Then I'm going to subtract beginning inventory. Okay, so remember, a unit sold plus my ending inventory is going to be equal to my beginning inventory plus units produced. So take that number and subtract my units produced. That'll give me my beginning inventory of $10,000 or 10,000 units. Again, with the same numbers. All right. So if I go 10,000 units times the amount of fixed overhead per unit and absorption costing of 8, then I'm going to subtract 80,000. So then if I just add all that up, then I expect my absorption net income to be $3,820 $3,820,000. And since I sold less than I produced, I know from worksheet 1 that I expect net income under absorption to be higher than variable. And that's exactly what I'm projecting here. Okay, let's calculate it, prove it out. So I'm just going to copy over information from variable that I know will be the same. All right, my fixed overhead is the number of units sold times my fixed overhead per unit under absorption, which is 8, and that gives me 1,440,000. So I add up all of my product costs, and that's going to give me a COGS of 8,280,000. I'm going to get my gross margin or my gross profit by taking 13,500,000 minus my COGS of 8,280,000. And that gives me a gross margin of 5,220,000. My S&A variable is the same as it was under variable. It's just in a different spot. And my S&A fixed is at 500,000. Right up here. I could have also copied that. All right, so my net income is going to be my gross margin minus my S&A variable minus my S&A fixed. And it's going to be 3,820,000, which is exactly what I calculated when I did the conversion. So that is a good sign. It's a good way to check my work. My ending inventory is going to be the 30,000 units in ending inventory multiplied by the $46 per unit under absorption costing. Or I think that's going to be 1,380,000. Let me look. Let me put some commas in there. Yeah. Okay. So that is your second example for product B. In the next video, I will be doing product C. If you feel like you've got this down, feel free to try product C on your own and then come back and check your answer. If you'd like to do one more example with me, then check out the next video, and that is exactly what we'll do. See you then.